Yeah, just say action or some fucking thing. We'll get it.
You're watching the PN2 Podcast.
Hello.
Oops. All right, we'll
Hello,
switch
Swain.
the weapon you start with here.
You
Hello?
get like the scar end or
We're
something.
live right now.
But I'm not ready yet.
Oh,
Are we live?
we're never ready.
Yeah.
Are we doing this? Oh yeah, wait, hold on. We're supposed to go, hey guys, welcome to the Boo!
Yeah.
Boo, happy Halloween or something. I don't know. No, spooky Nexus.
We
that
were
works.
going to do the Scream. We talked about the infamous
Hey
Scream.
guys, I'm
but,
playing the game
well,
in the background.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and export this for Sean here. And
We forgot
yeah,
to-
guys, welcome to the Project Nexus 2 podcast. Let me switch the window so I actually know that Sean's not lying to me and I'm making.
But yeah, it's only me and Swain, Matt, and I think Bill's somewhere. Probably
Bill's
taking
somewhere.
pictures in the background.
Right.
Same
And if,
room.
yeah, Bill's here with us. He's going to be monitoring you guys for racism to encourage you to produce as much racism
Yes.
as we require in every Nexus podcast. We usually don't have to enforce it. Usually you guys take care of it yourselves, but just kidding. And of course, Sean, the always sexy voiced Sean, is here helping to both play the game and I guess take the role of narrator because we're missing Walrus today.
Yeah. I'm not sure how well that's going to work out, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So Sean, why don't you describe this background image that we're seeing here on the podcast?
It's adorable.
This is an image that Amethy made, because I sent her a little preview of the build a couple of days ago, and she drew a sketch. I was like, oh, that's cool. Color it, and I'll put it on the little splash screen.
You've been sharing the game outside the circle. I don't care.
Illuminati. I like the little Hank smile thing on the bucket there. Little pumpkin face.
Yeah. Yeah, so as Sean is playing today, you guys will notice you may remember from the those things that you're seeing there with the skull and the P-bot and all that stuff. Those were originally advertised on the Kickstarter as a bonus for people who have pledged to back the game before a certain time. Something that we still intend to honor, but the real game's not out yet, so we're not there yet. But for today, I thought that for Halloween, what we would do is we would throw them into the game and put them on all the NPCs you face, including the guys in the headquarters. So from time to time, you're going to see these weird masks and helmets and stuff. That's just bad guys trick-or-treating. Throw them some candy. They'll accept bullets as well.
Bullet candy.
Yeah, just throw your swords, throw stuff at them. We might have a little ticker option for you to check it on for when we update the next build on Steam. But mostly we just wanted to do this for the podcast to kind of show that there is some stuff in the game.
Oh.
So today we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. Let me get a copy of this build set up for Sean here. This is going to be
Look
an
into
update.
the preview equip issue. I just saw there. Just doesn't show the weapon in your
Oh
hand.
yeah,
and
yeah.
usually
That's
it's
something I'm
always-
so. We revamped a couple of ways that items are showing in the inventory, and right now it scales down. Like they're there, they're just really really tiny.
Oh.
That's not so much a bug as an incomplete thing that I'm still in the process of working on. So you guys are seeing the current developer build today. This is not the current finished patch that you're going to be getting in the next week. I think we're aiming to release this week. We just need to do some bug testing on some new features. But
What Sean's for.
yeah, but you can see the new hair. Forget that he's holding little teensy tiny toy guns, but you can see he's got his big beautiful girl hair. That's in the game now. There's the spiked gloves, always nice. Let me turn this into a zip for you. Yeah, so I guess today we're mostly going to be doing questions because a lot of what we want to show off today isn't really even stuff that we're showing off like it's new. Like basically we've revamped. You've been hearing us talk about the event system and the mission system for like on and on and on since the last time we were on the podcast, which was what, like a month ago, over that. And what we were running into was a lot of the game was hard coded. Originally, we thought, for example, you go into arena mode like you see Sean doing now, and the game warns you that that it's about to start. A timer sets off so you can find where you need to go. You'll also notice there's like a helipad thing on the rooftop stage now. You'll see why in a second in the outpost. But originally, a lot of this stuff was hard coded. You go into a stage and the timer would start. Once it's done, waves would spawn. You kill the waves, next wave, kill the waves, next wave, done. We decided about a year ago that we wanted to make the arena mode a little bit more complicated. Also, Sean, is that frame rate drop? Is that the thing you were talking about before? Okay. Yeah, it's weird because I'm not getting that on my copy for some reason. Like, I can't seem to recreate that. But Sean's getting this, like, FPS drop that we're trying to figure out where it's coming from.
It's at least the sound effects as well, so I'm not sure if it's...
I put a little bit of minigun so that there's not so much... it doesn't play a sound per shot anymore. There's, like, a limit to the number of sounds a gun can make per frame, or per 5 frames. But, yeah, we've been hitting some frame rate issues on the stage, so we're trying to make sure whether or not it's the event system or something else entirely. But again, I can't seem to recreate that issue on my computer, which is not quite as powerful as Sean, so I'm not sure what the issue is. Maybe we can dabble with some of the video settings, Sean. Maybe, like, I don't know, try putting it on, like, low quality and stuff and see what happens. Well, maybe we'll do, like, a live bug testing. But anyway, all this event system stuff is to say we're basically stuck with arena mode working that way for every single stage because it's hard coded. So what we had to do was go in, remove that, and use the event system to create all the notifications that you receive and the timers and stuff. And what this does is we've come up with this very versatile system that allows us to tweak small things if we want to, case by case. So in one stage, maybe we want the timer to be 20 seconds because it's a bigger stage, or you know, really whatever. Like, we're going to use this to develop basically the storied missions in the game for story mode, and we kind of want to practice with some of that in arena mode as well. So for the most part, arena mode will be just like this with every stage. You know, you start the stage, there's a timer. You'll also notice Sean is in the event area for the helicopter now. So when he stands in the circle, if he's not in combat, he'd like wave his hands in the air and like actually wave the helicopter down. Like, hey, come and get me.
Oh, except for he's got a gun.
Except if you're dual wielding, you just sway back and forth like you're wasted. Or you're doing some sort of weird club dance.
Attention.
Yeah. So we actually have like the signal flares going and everything. So yeah, the idea is that we'll be able to build more storied stages, including in arena mode, where we'll have specific stages where cool stuff will happen. So it won't be dependent on just killing everybody in the stage. Though that is basically the hallmark feature of arena mode, so we'll never deviate too far from that. Yeah, oh, so here's the helicopter. I know we're speaking like 20-30 seconds after the fact, so sometimes we'll describe things like after they happen.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind for you newcomers. So yeah, spoilers will stick around. So yeah, there we go, mission complete. So Sean basically just did a complete mission on the rooftops, and what happened was he had to go through, because the text is kind of small, he had to find the data on the correct computer. No, first he had to find the password on a stack of paper somewhere. Then he had to use the password on the correct computers to extract a bunch of data. Then he had to flag down the pilot in that event area. Then he had to toss the information to the pilot. I say the pilot. It could be anybody in the helicopter, but we assume the pilot because he's the only one qualified, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to get my hands on this system.
Yeah, we're going to be able to do stuff like that, like really cool, versatile missions in these stages now, instead of just, if you remember Project Nexus 1, it was like, I'll use all 3 computers and destroy them, done. Kill enemies in stage, done. Now we can actually make a real game out of this now that this is finished. And yes, you've heard it here, the mission at event system is basically finished. It still requires testing, but it is built.
Well, that's what Sean's for.
Yeah, that's what Sean's for, and apparently the live stream where we play this like really laggy stage. Some other stuff we'll show you guys today is Matt's been working very, very heavily on the story mode while I finish up arena features. There will be plenty more arena maps coming, but we wanted to get a jump on story mode, which includes story mode enemies like golems, which will be in arena, but they fit into the story as well. As well as the major stages that you'll see, including the hubs, which are like the sectors of the city broken up into like, not really a free roam, but kind of a free roam thing. It's like GTA without being very big.
Right.
And then you go to the missions that are opened up, and then it'll take you into a new scene. So we'll show you some of the base areas without really many enemies in them for now, just to kind of test it out. Are you dual wielding miniguns?
Yeah.
Sean, you need to probably just go to hell. Did you get the chainsaw? Do you have the chainsaw?
Yes.
I want to see minigun in one hand and chainsaw in the offhand. So yeah, there's the minigun. It's got the highest, and rightfully so, highest fire rate in the game.
It's also using the most powerful rifle.
And he's also shooting too, and just making little dust clouds appear everywhere. No, no, I don't think I think his character doesn't have sweet spots. Or no, you just don't see it because he's not aiming. The sweet spots are there, yeah.
Yeah. Just sort of spraying bullets everywhere because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Tactics can just go to hell when you have that many bullets.
So, yeah, I wonder how we're gonna do questions. I guess when we take them, Matt, do you wanna? I don't know.
I could step over there and like.
We'll just read them off the prompt, and we'll try to do as many as we can. We're not taking questions yet, but we'll.
Without Waller, we're going to be kind of slapdash about this until we see them.
Scooter wants to know how sexy Crinkles' beard is.
It's like about a third of a Swain.
It's coming along. I had a head start. Matt's
on a
been
scale of 0 to Swain, I'm about a 3.
Yeah, Matt's been dating. I'm settled down now, so I don't give a shit about my appearance. So I have a large beard and no accountability.
Jurassic Park shirt, so you don't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. This is my bed shirt. I didn't sleep in it, but I threw my fucking bed shirt on. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we could show off like. I guess we can talk about what have we been doing for the last month.
Right. People are going to demand answers, and I'm hoping Sean is going to parade around plenty of what we've been doing.
Yeah, and because all right, so we'll talk about what Matt's been doing. I guess that you've already heard about the event system, which basically that's one of those things that although we've been building this whole framework to be able to construct complicated and awesome missions to really make this game just feel integrating, like it really pulls you in. That's what we hope. Mm-hmm. Also, like you only really see it when you go into a stage and the arena mode starts up and the timer ticks down.
Yeah.
That in the perfect world. By the way, thank you, Sean, for the dual wield combo I asked for.
I like how he holds the chainsaw sideways when he's like in that defensive state.
Yeah, right, because he has to kind of hold it away from the gun because it's like, God, that's so silly, but I love it. It's fine by me.
If you got the stats for it, go for it.
Yeah.
Got a better idea now.
The way that like glasses are always blue in the menu, I need to actually make the thing, is add in the color slider so you can actually change it.
Oh yeah, that's the pair of glasses that gave you that's supposed to be colorable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the urinal's in as well.
Oh crap.
So you can...
I thought that was an error, just a big white block or something. There you go, urinal and a chainsaw.
Oh, zombies wearing the masks, that's incredible.
Oh, are you already in the stage? Spoilers, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of like weapons that weren't accessible before that should be completely accessible, as well as all the LMGs. I'm sure like Sean's gonna parade those around enough.
Yeah.
The M60, the M249.
Other than Golem and Mag Armor, I think everything is enabled right now. Just about everything.
Well, yeah. Those are the things that simply don't fit normal people.
Yeah, they're not meant to be worn by a normal guy. It just doesn't look right by our standard.
Fucking Pico's army.
Oh yeah, of course they're gonna wear Halloween stuff.
Love it.
It was a little bit lame to just let him be a zombie for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the chainsaw, I think, does like 28 or something. It's obscene.
Yeah.
The event system isn't running in this stage, so for having FPS drops, it's not the event system.
Yeah, that makes me really curious as to like maybe I fucked something up or screwed something up rather about the particle system, because this is another particle area.
It would be running slowly in general. His is having like stutters, which is different. I wonder. We'll have to look into what's going on. But
I remember we took away all the particles from the lamps in this map too. We were really hunting down what might have been wrong.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, it looks like it's running. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He's killed everybody.
I think the reason there's so much blood is because it's doing nearly 30 damage per hit, as opposed to like 6 or 7 from a normal.
Oh, that zombie just fell off the edge. I love that.
Love it.
Kills them when they hit the ground. So yeah, I guess for the last month, I have been finishing the event system, but the problem is, and also I've been fixing FMOD. If you remember that debacle from last month, I've basically been trying to reintegrate our audio system. We were having a lot of you guys who are currently playing the alpha build. Those of you who have backed us, you may have noticed that if you play the game for longer than about 30-40 minutes, you start to notice this memory leak, this stutter, this slowdown will start to take place. That's due to a memory leak, which is where you assign data to memory, like they like creating an object or creating like whatever, creating an item in the code somewhere or in the game, and that item is not being removed, and slowly but surely you start to create more and more of these things, and it starts to lag your game down. Typically, like as an example, our buddy Afro Ninja created I remember way back, I've told this story before, but for you newcomers, he created a raindrop system where all the rain was an individual particle that he could control. I can't remember why, but he had done this. I think it's because it was in Flash, so you didn't have like a particle system like in Unity. And every raindrop was accounted for individually. And he had a whole pause system, so you'd pause the game, the raindrop would stop in midair. But every raindrop that was being created was like being saved to an array, that is to say like a list. But when he was removing the artwork, like the movie clip for the raindrop, he wasn't erasing like the place in memory where it was. Like it was still in the array. So he had this array that was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that was slowly but surely lagging down the game. And that's a good example of a memory leak. It's just where you're creating stuff that isn't being removed when you're not using it, and it eventually slows down the game. So something is happening. We suspect Fmod, but I think whatever memory leak we have now is not Fmod anymore, because I've run the game without even using Fmod sometimes, and it still happens. But we suspected Fmod was having problems, and it was. We have a new voice system in the game. A lot of new voices from Walrus. I was really hoping he could be here for the showcasing of it. I just love how he chops zombies and they're just flying off the ledge.
Yeah, I'm not unhappy with the standard animations on this chainsaw. It's
me neither.
It's fun.
It just needs to do more constant damage, like a zzz somehow. Maybe just for the executions. We'll find it.
Yeah.
But anyway, just to get the voice system to work, the new voice system that we have in the game, we had to basically upgrade Fmod, which completely broke everything. Everything in the game was freaking destroyed, and I had to go in and basically reprogram Fmod to work. I've complained about this before, but I had to reprogram everything from scratch, like and that we had integrated between our game and Fmod. And it was a huge cluster. It was a huge, just like everything was foobar. So eventually I got that to work. Hopefully the audio stays stable. It seems to be working fine now. But that was basically 2 to 2.5 weeks of just work, of just not working on the game and just constantly working on fixing that. So that's one reason the patch has been so long in coming. Then I finally got back to the event system. And now we've been working on getting golems in the game, and they might actually be in for the next build in the facility. We're not sure, but maybe. So that is what I've been screwing around with. In the meantime, Matt has been working really heavily on like new deaths, the animations for the golems, that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's been new guns, mostly just new conventional weapons. Of course, the new melee weapons, new maps. The residential sector, as far as the story mode goes, has just been a whole bunch of new buildings and new world assets that unfortunately you're not going to see for a while yet.
Yeah.
I'm just running way far ahead as it stands right now. We also got Murder Room 4 and 5 modeled up and good to go.
Just waiting on me, which I'm hoping I can get at least Murder Room 4 ready for, that's the elevator stage, ready for the next build. Because I want to include the next build with the new stage. I mean, that's just how we do it.
That's mandatory, yeah.
And then I'll work on Murder Room 5 for the next stage after that, or next update after that. Yeah, I'm curious to see if the count has something to do with it. It couldn't be bodies or really any of those like small sliders, because you were getting lag at the beginning of the stage, so
yeah, right.
Who knows? Right. Try doing things like turning off VSync and all that fun stuff, and who knows what action will come up with. So yeah, we do have some of the, like I mentioned, we have some of the hub stages ready to be viewed.
Right.
There's nothing to do in them except explore and kind of showcase the new art direction of Project Nexus. That is to say, like the quality that Matt has been working towards. We're finally at a place where we're really comfortable with the appearance of the game. You've noticed the headquarters get prettier and prettier as we go, because we're not going to redesign it. We like it.
Yeah. The overall floor plan's fine.
Yeah. But and the combinations of stuff, like the way that the lighting plays into it. I worked on some shaders last time, and I think that the new stages will be pretty. So Sean, when you want to test those stages, the industrial sector and the actually, hold on. For right now, I have to get you the new build. You can do the outskirts. So for that, press Control F1, and that'll send you to the outskirts.
Okay, I'm just gonna quickly go on Outpost, see if it affected the settings or anything.
And the nice thing with that one is the gas station and the security outpost. You can enter them and actually wander around inside.
Right. So let me update this guy. How do we do it again?
Still a little bit. Was it Control F1?
Let's delete it. There we go. Yeah, Control F1. That'll send you in there.
I'm in. Oh, wow.
That's the kind of reaction I like to hear.
Ooh. Oh, that's spicy.
La la. Me likey.
Mm.
So, like I mentioned, there's not a lot to do in the stage. And I actually set it up so you can fight like a golem or something in the, or he can just infinitely chase you in the industrial sector. So I'm uploading now, Sean, and I'll send you a link to it in a second here. Yeah, the outskirts stage. So just as an explanation, the idea here is that this will take place immediately after the tutorial sequence, which will be kind of like a chase scene kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like the barrel fire as like a cover piece.
Yeah, sure.
We'll have to do some open barrels that we can use for that. I realized, so I popped the top off.
Yeah, put the fire inside. Probably.
Yeah, I think that's one of my old assets, right? Like one I made.
Yeah, that one's an ancient asset that I just haven't gotten around to replacing.
Right. Yeah, feel free to anytime, of course. And yeah, we'll do one with like the lid off and all that stuff. The oil drums.
Right. So feel free to give me some feedback about how you like this area as far as like what a story map looks like to you.
Yeah,
Does it
as you
feel
can see,
too cramped or too busy? Or...
Sean has discovered that the rooms are explorable.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I'm just watching him like go through this area and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it looks great. We'll have to figure out how we're going to color theme it if we do. I love the idea of being very gray monotone for the inside and colorful for the hubs. I just kind of like to separate the coloring.
You know, you can't.
I love the shopping carts. I just noticed that. I did. Yeah, that's great. It reminds me of that first time in Fallout 3 when you go into that market, that supermarket.
Yeah, and it looks like a proper store. Like it was one of those like, hey, this is like really well put together.
But to be fair, our next gen graphics look a lot better than Fallout 3. Just gonna say it. But of course, Fallout 3 is kind of old. So so this is this outskirt stage is basically going to double as like your first mission, and parts of it also as your hub, where you'll take a couple missions as you kind of work your way into the city, and the story begins to integrate Sanford, Demos, and Hank into the whole why are we in the city, what's going on with the Nevada Corps, what's going on with Project Nexus, and then you'll start to like get into the I have to add in a thing to make the turnstile spin. But yeah, I forgot that. That's
I like those little security outposts are fun.
Yeah. I'm also going to dick around with the silhouettes. The silhouettes aren't going to be as obvious as they are now. You don't always need to see things silhouetted. So I'm going to take care of that. I like the busted out windows there.
Right. People sometimes climb through. They forget their keys.
Yeah. Okay, so so we have that, and Sean, I'm going to get you a link in the background to the new build. Get shareable link. Before I send this to you and put you through the effort, let me just double check that it has the.
Yeah, the maps you're looking at right now are going to be set up much in the way that the some of the maps in Project Nexus 1 were, whereas in like you'll walk up to an obstacle and then you'll have to sidetrack until you find a way to get through it.
Yeah.
That's always like a fun, tried and true way to keep you moving in a direction always.
It's fucking huge.
Yeah, that security building is a bit of a target.
Want to see me get murdered by a golem?
Oh yeah. Hang on. Hey pal, will you execute?
No, we don't have that. Yeah. No.
I'm getting a real flaw.
Oh, the camera follows you.
He's our student. Leave this one to me. Let's do this.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, cool. He's doing like guy things.
Yeah, he's like celebrating.
I love it.
All right, yeah, that copy's good, Sean. You'll be able to download it whenever you want to. Let me give you a link.
Yourselves get mowed over by a freaking golem. It's good stuff.
It'd be cool if he picks up a corpse and swims.
There you go, Sean.
with it.
Yeah.
So that's the new build. That'll have the other stage in it when you get tired of this one. And there's a golem that will chase you around in it, so that's pleasing.
He has a minigun. It's great.
Yeah, he's got a minigun. So you know.
Deal.
And he'll come in, of course, as his character, because I started in that stage. I came in as a grunt character. So, I guess as he starts to explore when he gets the new build up, he's got to download it and such. But once Sean's got that new copy, we'll have him run around the industrial sector, and you'll see some of the new stuff that Matt's been working on that as well.
Yeah, something that bugged me about this map, since I'm looking at it, I want to get it out there, is like making everything yellow was like a big pain in the ass because of Unity, but now we have like yellow lights because they can't just be white lights get tinted yellow by the ambience. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you'll see the beginning of the golem. By the way, it's basically. I mean, you've seen the armor. Anybody who has purchased the armor pieces and slowly collected them by hiring up squad mates and then firing them after taking their stuff. And by firing, I mean sending them to Murder Room 1 into the blades.
Yeah.
Now that's not an option anymore, because they hold on to their stuff and won't let you take it. Or it'll get destroyed. The golems are a little less obvious, but you'll be able to see what he looks like in his armor now.
Uh-huh.
We're thinking about adding cube map reflective textures to them to kind of make them shiny, to indicate that they're bulletproof. But
Yeah,
we'll,
I'm gonna do that with like buckles and spikes too.
Yeah.
Make like the leather and spiky kind of coolness.
Yeah. Yeah, like Uncle Funkle was saying in the chat, this is a story map. You won't see this one in arena mode.
No.
We'll have like small miniature versions of stuff like this. Like we could like copy paste a piece
I was
of
gonna
it
say, yeah.
and like make a
that-
parking lot into an arena map. Would be great.
Yeah, just like give you more places to do like
Oh.
arena map stuff, but a map this big just is not conducive to arena mode shenanigans.
Right. And what do you guys think? I mean, I think it looks awesome. I can take a step back because I didn't make it.
Yeah, the thing is,
Matt
like,
put this together himself, and I can
Yeah.
from you know.
I've been buried in it, so any and all constructive or even destructive criticism, I'll take it all.
Yeah.
I got one for you.
So.
But yeah, that aside. Oh, I have to
really
add in
like the
the.
dystopian thing with the hair makes me think Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
John.
It was always supposed to happen this way. I was inside the van.
No collision.
Yeah, I might have taken it there. Yep, that's my mistake.
Damn it.
And now he just keeps doing it to make me mad.
There's no hidden extras in there.
Can we play as golems?
No, you can't.
I'm
They're
thinking not.
you can in arena mode eventually be able to build your guy up to be slightly bigger, kind of like a mag legendary tree, but we don't. That's not in the game right now. And you might get to maybe golem size, but you won't actually be a golem.
Yeah, there might be like some things in arena mode, like when we get to the murder time thing, where like you control a golem,
Mm-hmm.
but making your character into a golem, I don't know. It just seems like, hey, we made a mountain for you to climb. Can I be the mountain? That confuses me. So, okay, we had a question earlier about.
So I guess we could start taking questions actually now that
Yeah,
you
we can just start taking pot shots at these questions.
now that you mentioned it. Okay. So Matt, do you want to have your thing open on here? That way you can scan through, and I
No, just both work.
guess we can both do it here. Okay, guys, we're gonna try as best we can to answer some questions if you guys have any for us.
Yeah, this is just Turkish. Let's have some
Yeah.
fun.
So dig in.
Well,
Meantime,
watch Sean completely mess with my little van there now that he knows it makes me mad.
yeah.
Is there a big idea of when the beta will release, or like what kind of criteria you have set yourself for a beta release?
We're aiming, criteria is we want to have the story mode at least the beginning of it kind of playable, which is why Matt's been working on these maps so we can get a jump on it.
Right, at least this area and the tutorial stage.
Yeah.
Because like it'd be great if you guys could play through this whole outskirts area, go to the M Mart and the security sector and do proper
Yeah.
missions, break everything in there and tell us what we need to change.
And April is like our hard cutoff point for like, okay, beta needs to be out. But we're hoping for before that. And I'm optimistic we can do it because now that the event system is done, it's going to be just features and maps and stuff coming out. Like it's like arena mode is getting actually very close to done, if
Yeah.
you can believe that.
I could start once I understand how the event system works, which won't take too long. I will be
Yeah.
able to make these things in a vacuum, like I've been doing.
Yeah.
Many of my other things.
And while beta's going on, we'll be balancing all the skills and making sure everything's in.
Yeah, there's some balancing issues.
Yeah, including all of the like terrain navigation skills that we're working on as well.
Mhm.
Be able to hold more than 2 weapons, not in your hands. No, I mean you can currently hold 4 weapons, 1 in each hand and 1 on your back, on your back and
Right,
sides.
this isn't the darkness. You can
Yeah.
only shoot as many guns as you can hold.
Will you be able to play? You have a crappy computer. Will there be options to change the graphics so you can play, et cetera, et cetera? Yes, yeah.
Like frame limit caps or.
He's just looking if there's graphics options,
I
and
see.
yeah, there are. There absolutely are.
Yeah. I mean, like I have an XP machine back home that has like 3.5 gigabytes of RAM, and it's a real hunk of junk. But if I turn down all my settings, it still runs pretty good.
Zach Ford asked, "Will Gibbs be put in the game?" Gibbs are in the game, but there's no body destruction yet. I don't know if that's what you
Well,
mean.
save for like skin falling off and.
Yeah. There's no dismemberment per se, but there will be for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's Gibbs though, trap and shotguns.
Will there be any special weapons like the experimental weapon from the first Project Nexus? Asks, I'm the dude. Yes, there will.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Weapons have become a low priority since I've completely filled out all the conventionals that I want. LMGs, miniguns, shotguns, like.
And now we have a heavy category too.
And now we
Yeah.
have like multi-shot grenade launchers and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, this is enough conventional weapons. I need to start turning around
Yeah.
and flamethrowers, lasers, and experimental nonsense. That's going to be coming once I have more confidence in the volume of story mode things I put
Yeah.
together.
Elite Cryptic, actually, our old buddy Elite Cryptic,
Hey.
is asking about throwing weapons. He wants to know if they're going to become more conventional. I feel like he knows the answer, but is raising this for everybody to know. Because I feel like we've talked about it in Discord. Yeah, we're going to change throwing weapons so they're no longer a held item. They're not going to take up a slot in your hands. Instead, you will pick. It'll be basically a third slot, like a third loadout, and you'll basically throw throwing weapons, and by that he means not like melee weapons, but throwing daggers and that kind of thing. Eventually, grenades and Molotovs. Those will be a second slot or a third slot that you just have. And you can choose what kind of throwing thing you want. Do you want throwing daggers? Do you want grenades? You won't be able to have both. Or maybe you will and you can swap between them. I don't know. But for testing, we'll start with one.
Right.
And that'll just be a thing that you'll like press the F button or something and it'll like throw it or something like that.
Does it need to press something different to get to the...
Yeah. Or maybe you have to have your hands free, and if you press Q to throw or something like that, maybe it throws throws something like that. Let me see. Because every time I scroll, it like updates my page.
Right.
So yeah, throwing weapons are going to be something different, and you won't have to like carry them.
Like
which
a handful of daggers. They're more like they're just strapped up to your
Yeah, and then you'll run out of them, and then you just don't have them, but they'll refresh at the beginning of next stage. They won't disappear when you run out like they currently do.
I kind of don't want to tell Sean what the golem is when I do it.
How much will the minigun cost? Asks Chaz Dude.
It's $250,000 right now.
Yeah, it's and that's just an automated. The game instantiates a number based on its stats, and that's just the current like mathematical conclusion.
Oh yeah, the doors are all broken. They're already the same place.
Yeah, it's real interior right now. Oh, that's a golem, by the way, that he's fighting. I know he's already fighting it on your version, but yeah, there are no interiors right now because we're just working on this as a hub. He's completely invincible, by the way. He'll
that's good to know.
Run into you.
Yeah, and that minigun, he's not very good with it, but he will get to you.
Yeah. It's because you're like right in his face, so he can't really shoot you. So I'll have to make it so he backs up a little.
Yeah, there is still an issue with the guys getting closer than their weapon can handle.
Yeah. Yeah, notice the stutters happening here. There's no events whatsoever in the stage, but there's still a frame rate drop.
Weapon or something?
Something is happening.
This would probably be a good map to like experiment with what's causing it.
Actually, you can see the little red. It's totally his. It's a red, like a bug is happening down at the bottom, and he's been getting it, not me. I don't know what's going on, but we'll figure it out. That's some sort of error. Is basically the debug tool in Unity for anybody who doesn't know. When it writes an error to the console to let you know something is broken, it slows the game down for a second, just briefly. And so something is happening in his game that's causing it to happen a lot. I wonder if it's the hair. Maybe we should just lose the hair for a second. I don't know. Maybe it could be the.
You just want to ruin Sean's fun.
It could very well be the hair.
Well, the hair doesn't even have physics on this one.
It's not impossible that I had done something incorrect and I put that together.
I think it's more like the. Actually, no, you didn't add any cloth physics to that hair, so it couldn't be. It couldn't be that.
It's built pretty much like Hank's bandana, tied a little bit to the body and the abdomen, mostly on the head.
Real Broken Shadow Kirby, by the way, Mark Zero asks, since we're speaking of the hair, if you'll be able to dye the hair colors. We're going to add a dyeing feature to every piece of clothing in general, and we'll see how it looks. But you're going to be able to dye your stuff in the game. It'll be just a flat tint that kind of applies to it.
Yeah.
It's more like the overlay filter in art tools, if you're familiar with that. Yeah, where it sort of like doesn't really replace the whites and doesn't replace the blacks, but somewhere in between there. I started to sound like a Trump commentary there, didn't it? It doesn't replace the whites and blacks, but it does anything mid-range in between. It'll replace grays with grays, not gays. This is not a Trump agenda. It'll replace gray colors with the color of your choosing. So it'll act as a sort of tints. But yeah, you'll be able to do stuff like that. Let's see. What else do we have?
I love questions.
Okay, will there... Oh yeah, and do at Project Nexus 2 Podcast, by the way, so we know that you're trying to ask us a question.
Right.
Otherwise, we think it's just chat banter. So Battle Mantot asks, will there be a helicopter ride or a truck ride where we have a certain amount of time to survive on them?
The first map of story mode is going to be a truck ride.
Yeah, on the first map of story mode, Sanford and Demos will be driving/shooting, like you're familiar with from the series, and Hank will be on the back bed of the truck, shooting at guys coming at you while the tutorial teaches you how to play. That'll be, because Hank's a badass, so he's a great guy to start with.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's something I'm super excited to get, because that's when we can start like really wowing people with characters that are over the top.
But since he mentions it, I wouldn't mind seeing stages like if we can make it make sense. I think of a helicopter. I think immediately of Double Dragon 2 and how that was the best stage in the game.
Even though it didn't make any goddamn sense.
No, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. Oh, we're opening the door. Oh, we're getting sucked out for some reason. Are we in space? Are we in the atmosphere?
Right.
Who knows? I guess it's like, I don't know.
Maybe he's turning and pointing up. I don't
Yeah, right. Actually, maybe he's banking while the door's open to try to get you out. But it seems like a cool idea. We'll think about it, but we are going to come up with more and more complex and differing arena stages. So it's not just like, oh, look, we're in a new area that looks different and is really cool, but it's the same sort of thing. New hazards and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know that some of the murder rooms that we're coming out with, Murder Room 5 is probably the least clever, but it does introduce fire, and that's going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
And then after that, the murder rooms are going to get very weird. We have that written down.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So
I wanted all the conventional bases covered, blades, moving blades, lasers, and all that. Once you're comfortable, these murder rooms, then it's going to get really weird.
There's something with
cool.
Sorry, just
P3 wants it be possible to have more than 2 arms and hands. Not in any kind of real functional way. If we decided to have some weird Gazorp tribute thing with head arms, that would be a costume piece. It wouldn't actually be multiple arms. So sorry, kid, no Goro in this. But looks like the dog is here with her bone. Good girl, Winnie. But yeah, it would be purely cosmetic. Give me that bone.
Gazorp over there.
Yeah. Somebody last night at the party had a Gazorp head thing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Not at the one you were at, Bill.
Okay.
He's like, okay. Kikolis 12 Hundo wants to know, are there going to be different doors to separate rooms? Seeing the same doors for high-tech facility be the same as a marketplace is odd.
I've made a second door, but I'm not using it enough yet.
Yeah, actually, Sean, go to the medical facility. I don't think people have seen that yet.
Oh yeah.
If you get the chance in the headquarters.
Oh, yeah.
You can, or alternatively walk there, but I would love to see you die. That'd be great. It'd be cathartic.
Yeah, just jump in the murder room, fans. I don't even care.
Yeah, but you can also just walk there from the headquarters. You'll see an example of what the new doors look like. It's just a new, an example door.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it sounds like the same concern we had. It's like it's the same damn door everywhere, which I mean was fine for the cartoon, but let's.
But we can put together like a nice double door kind of glass, sliding double door kind of thing.
Yeah, and I want doors that open out, like just swinging wood doors.
Yeah, they won't have any physics on them because that'll just really screw up the game if they open
I hate any sort of shooter where those doors.
Yeah. So I know it looks the same, and currently the actual panel for the door is the same.
But the frame,
yeah, the physical frame and the way it operates is different. All we have to do is texture swap that frame, and it'll be different. Maybe we'll have those move side to side, like open sideways or something.
Have a door that only your squad mate can open.
No,
that's limiting. I don't like that.
Yeah, more add things that you could do in the game. That's
don't
that's
take
the key.
away fun.
Yeah, I think the chef says more things, and I fixed that bug where he
Want hot dogs?
we have hot dogs.
I want him to mumble like Sean.
Did we skip everything? Yes, of course, it skipped everything. Sorry, every time I scroll down on the YouTube chat,
Good Lord, this is
breaks
a busy
everything.
place.
Yeah.
Look at these little guys.
A lot of people are watching.
Also,
No, I mean the
Karamita9, by the way. Merry Ghostmas to you too. Merry Ghostmas. There, it's kind of like my blockhead. There, one person out there gets it.
The what?
All right, I gotta find. Sorry if I skip any questions. By the way, I'm trying not to do it, but the chat is very
It's
finicky.
going to be a crapshoot as far as questions being answered.
Yeah, we're gonna try.
We don't have one lovely walrus here. I gotta lie.
He had last-minute plans. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the questions. I think I'm at the very top. Let's see. Vague idea of the beta release. Okay, now we're catching up. Any vague idea when the beta will release? God damn it, this is so complicated.
Let's just go to the beginning and start grabbing them from there, or the end. Or it's just, it's fine to miss something.
Yeah. Spooky problems with the programming, asks Battlemantot. Yeah, mostly recently it's just been the Fmod issues. If you mean like grunt wizards, I don't think we've seen anything new like that recently. That was just that was actually as a result of me trying to program something really silly very quickly, so we could get some guys spawning in that old helipad stage, which does need to be reworked so we can reintroduce it because I kind of miss it.
That map was cool. I especially am going to be fond of using the event system live.
Yeah. All right. So Luke Defower, God Emperor of Mankind, asks a pretty decent question, which is, why are the chainsaw chains not chains, and why are they flat? Okay, so that's two questions. It's very simple. They are chains, but there happen to be spikes on them as well to make them, really grisly. But they are connected by little chain things. It's a very small graphic, so you'd have to really get in there to see. And why are they flat? The reason they're flat is because to get them to move, to actually rotate around the, what do you call it, the trunk of the, I'm coming up with like tree words
the
here.
very edge,
Yeah, like around the paddle of the chainsaw. The reason is because to get them to spin around, we're doing a very common, popular technique in 3D UVing and design, which is it's basically just a texture pasted across a flat surface that all we have to do is change the offset, and it'll make it rotate around the chainsaw. That way, it's just a texture that's basically wrapping around. If it was a 3D object, we'd have to have a very complicated animation that would have to loop constantly. It would be too much burden on the system and a lot of work to get it to work. But it would be a big burden on the system to run like every chainsaw that appears in the game.
Right.
So
if we want to chainsaw Bonanza.
Yeah, we can do it, but we're looking at like a week of work. Maybe let's say realistically like 2 days of work from both Matt and I, and it's just not worth the workload to do that. I would rather just go in and get the chainsaw done. I think it looks good for what it is, and if we need to,
range you see it.
Yeah, if we need to, what we could do is make it 2 sets of quads. That is to say, a flat panel to create like a steepled triangle or something like that. Like I'm showing Matt.
Get a little depth.
Yeah, give it a little bit of depth, and maybe that would look like something. But this is not Gears of War. It doesn't need to have a proper like grindy thing. And I personally think it looks good. So I'm gonna start selecting the questions like this, so I can So if I lose it, I can come back. Okay, so Little Sprinkles asks, will enemies with guns have their AI tweaked so that they won't constantly be all up in your shit and actually be tactical? It depends on the enemies. Some enemies are set to do that, like Zoldats. They want to be in your face all the time. Berserkers, same thing. They want to be in your face all the time. Sometimes what happens, though, is that enemies will... they're trying to walk towards a point to get somewhere, and it involves walking in your face to get there. Usually when they're trying to maneuver around each other. So it's kind of a little clusterfuck from these guys trying to like, get to a tactical position. But I promise you, they think that they're doing something tactical. It's just the process of performing that tactical decision is sometimes causing them to crowd. And also, don't forget, like I said, some enemies will do this. A lot of enemies will try to get in your face with melee weapons and then switch weapons halfway through or something like that. There's a variety of reasons, but making the AI like less aggressive on easier game modes is something that we're going to tackle. But in the next coming weeks, I'm going to start tackling like real AI for squad leaders, enemies, as well as your squad mates, your personal squad mates in your team. What is the dog begging for? What do you want? The dog is being adorable with her little shaved head. But yeah, that's something we're going to be working on in the like immediate next couple weeks. But we'll see. I see Kickless has jumped in to sort of like answer the question that I've already answered as well, but beat me to it. What is an M-Mart? It's Madness Mart.
Yeah, Madness
Yeah. Just asking the good questions here. Hazel Capulus did the app project Nexus 2, but I'll answer it anyway.
Well, it's the beta release.
Yeah, is there any vague idea of the beta release? Yeah, that's the one we answered. Cool. Okay, crappy computer. Yeah, we did that one. Minigun cost.
Different doors. Yeah, we.
Yeah, same door. Stealth system.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
This is a fun one to answer.
So the stealth system isn't going to involve like pressing C to crouch. It's really just if they don't see you, and you can sneak up on them. And that'll just be in story mode. There's not really stealth in arena mode. It's not meant to be that way.
Mode, they're not. It's a friggin'. Yeah, there's no reason for it.
What about zombie survival though?
Fully that's and as long as it's not arena, then yeah, stealth will come into play.
That's entirely different, being that zombies don't behave like people.
Right. Guns do actually have a loudness, but you wouldn't really know it by playing because everybody's aware of you when they run into the stage. But the weapons do each, every time they shoot, produce a kind of like bang. And every bang will wake up anybody in the room that's not currently like aware of them. So that is a thing. So silence weapons do have an effect.
Yeah, the overall like direction of what we want for stealth to be is that it's one way. So once the alarm is raised, it's always on.
Yeah.
And it's not unlike I'm trying to think like the other games that do it this way, but like where you just try and be as stealthy as you can, as long as you can, but it's inevitable that things are going to go completely haywire.
Yeah.
So stealth is really just holding off the inevitable,
Right.
and the fun you can have doing that.
There was a question about co-op or PvP. We have plans for that, and we're going to aim for like as much land-based stuff as we can. We want to do local, but in a game that requires a keyboard and a mouse and doesn't really work well with a keypad, or a control pad, that would be very hard, but we're looking into ways to make that happen. Our end goal, though, is to at least have game modes that would be multiplayerable. So we are going to mess with that. Can I use a Steam controller? Same thing, same deal. We're trying to find a way to make that work, but we don't know if that'll actually fit the keyboard mouse game style of this game. But we'll see. Can we make Soldats and Engineers weaker, please? Engineers we have, and Soldats, no, absolutely not.
I was going to say that was my answer.
You're fighting a high level unit.
Yeah, Engineers only have one corpus, so they are more of the paper tiger we wanted them to be in the first place. But Soldats, no, I want them to show up and be kind of a problem.
Yeah, no, by contrast, you're going to fight fewer Soldats at once, unless it's like Madness Mode or something. We're going to kind of roll back how often you fight some of these bigger guys, as well as throwing in some more weaker enemies, so you're not always fighting just big badasses.
I'm loath to make people weaker because I plan on making the player stronger and stronger and stronger.
Exactly.
So while these guys are pretty tough right now, the apotheosis trees we have planned are going to make these guys back into popcorn.
Battleman Tot, as far as when will co-op come out, after or before Zombie Survival, maybe about the same time, but probably before. I think what we're looking at is releasing story mode, then getting to work on Zed Survival as a free DLC. That's our goal, and I want to do that with multiplayer as well as free DLC. I'm not going to make people pay for DLC for freaking multiplayer. That's ridiculous. We never advertised this as a multiplayer game, but by God, if we can make it happen, we're not going to charge people for it.
Yeah.
But that'll come out about the same time, more or less.
Rather charging for something that's worth it.
Luke DeFauer wants to know when we'll get AAHW mode. That is to say, the base builder mode where you defend against guys invading you. That'll be after Zed. Yeah, that was always planned for after Zed. That probably won't be free DLC because that wasn't something we were funded for via the Kickstarter. And it's going to be a lot of work to put together, I'm sure of it. But it'll be out after Zed Survival, and we'll figure it out once we get to that point.
Right.
VIX Team Fortress 2 wants to know, will we be able to do extra damage with headshots if you don't have a skill, unlike in Project Nexus 1? I think headshots do more damage, period. However, you don't get the option to aim at someone's head till you buy the skill, which, bear in mind, this is also a very low-level skill. You get this pretty early on.
That's before you even get 2, I think.
Yeah, so, I mean, technically, it's about the same thing. Let's see, what else do we got?
Use one of the new LMGs if you can, Sean.
Someone wants to know when you're done with 11, will we consider modding a Skyrim Ultimate Edition Madness Combat mod? That's, good. Well, we'll leave that to braver people than us.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Whenever I think of Skyrim mods, I never think of anything good.
Will multiplayer have ranked play? There will be ranking of some kind, I'm sure, but that depends on if we get, we're going to work on LAN multiplayer first before we get into server stuff, because that's a whole other headache, and we're going to want to start paying other people to work on that, because I'm not going to do that. I got to work on this core engine. It's just between me working on the website and all this other stuff. Thank God we have Sean to run the podcast and do the Twitter for us.
Yeah, handle all sorts of ancillary issues.
There's just not enough time in the day for me to work on server tech, but it's something we'd like. So if I can get a LAN game working where I can get 2 copies of the game communicating, one person as host and however many other people as clients, then we can get the same thing working via a server. But first things first, multiplayer LAN. Then we can start working on multiplayer, like proper online play. Controller support, I've answered that. Are you building a gray wall or a red wall? Is that a reference to something?
Are you building a... Oh, because of the Trump nonsense.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, we're going to have the Nexus guys pay for it.
Actually, at the very end of the outskirts area, there's a giant wall. I mean, it's kind of holding Nexus in.
Actually, yeah, there is a big wall that's pasted together from cement and spit.
A little bit of sawdust in there too.
Yeah, that we're trying to keep this thing from falling apart entirely, because goddammit, it's their home and they want to continue to exist there. They're fighting for the right to survive.
The outskirts? Nah.
Yeah. Let's see. Discord Cantus wants to know what are intended rebalances for the minigun.
Well, I'm not turning down its rate of fire accuracy or anything like that. What we plan on doing is making it harder to swing around. Because Sean's really demonstrating the fact that what it should not be doing.
Yeah, right now the minigun is just any old gun, but heavy guns in the game are going to take into account another stat, or rather, I guess anyway, it'll take into
weight,
like the weight of the gun. I think for heavy weapons are going to cause you to basically spin around like a turret. So you have to aim it in a direction, and if you can get guys to bottleneck, awesome. That's the intended purpose of the minigun.
Right.
But if guys are coming at you from behind, you're going to have to spin fast. Combine that with the fact that you can't really shoot people when they are like right in your face, and I think maybe we'll give the character some slowdown as well. Because that's how it worked in the last game. You couldn't dash. So I think I want to do something like that.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because I don't want to take away its ability or its damage. It always annoyed me.
Oh, I forgot that I have the thing in the... Because
it always annoyed the hell out of me whenever they make LMGs do very... Because do like half a pistol bullet per, but like, you know, balance it with lots of rate of fire. I was like, there's better ways to do that. The damn thing weighs 100 pounds. Just... You can't swing it around like an SMG, so...
Right.
You know, like he said, if you bottleneck bad guys, that's trying to go boom, and go base guys. You don't have the ability to hit people with the gun either. Well, unless you're a
Yeah. Oh, also, because we're going to set it so you can't aim with it, you won't be able to aim lock either, so there's not going to be any snapping to enemies. Right. You pretty much have to rely on your own accuracy. Because you can't, it's a minigun, you can't pick it up to, like, aim it at, like, to aim down the sights, you know, right.
But yeah, I mean, it makes up for it by shooting a gazillion rounds a second. So like,
yeah,
you really just turn it into a hose that can even Zoldads don't stand much of a chance.
Yeah. We had a question about will there be mods for Steam Workshop? We plan to try to find a way to integrate that.
Yeah.
Whether it's just custom guns or texture mapping or like replacing the game textures, we want to find a way to do it. And I'll talk to people once we have the game more complete. I'll talk to people who have done this before to see how they did it, and we'll take it from there.
Stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah. Let's see. Gangrene is cool. Wants to know, will fire ever be dynamically used in a map where the fire eats up the ground, forcing you to advance?
I can see something like that happening if it's only intentional.
There won't be like true destruction or anything, because that sounds like that sounds like a different game entirely.
Yeah, no, that like I could see a map that's like burning like slowly away and like you're just losing map as it goes. But like
like fire, like actually one of the new murder rooms will have fire used to control areas of the stage. So in that sense, yeah.
But like, yeah, as far as like being able to throw a Molotov cocktail and completely deform an existing map, that just takes into account way too many things. Like, what if you deny yourself the ability to get objectives done and stuff like that? And you have to find like a fire extinguisher. I don't want this to be a firefighting game.
Yeah, like Zed Survival, having fire as a risk or something would be great, but that's not that doesn't play in it.
That wasn't in our dev plans.
Yeah, boy, if we could do it in a day, that'd be great. But if we can't, don't expect to see it. Atari Man wants to know if you'll be able to use the ATP mask in Arena. I'm
surprised he can't.
I believe it's already in. He may not actually have a copy.
Oh, yeah.
He may just be wondering. I believe it's already in. That's the engineer mask, if anyone. Commander Jimmy wants to know, will there be a map in a different dimension? Maybe.
Like a parallel universe?
Maybe. I know that we have plans for like DLC or like eventual game, like episodes, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna get silly with it. Once the ground beneath us is rock solid, we're gonna be making all sorts of nonsense.
We've hinted at a kind of like hell dimension in Madness, like where all these people coming from and stuff. But But maybe we'll do something in like the hell dimension would be great.
Spoilers.
But we're not going to tell you anything about that, and that's not going to be. That probably won't be in this game. That'll be in like the next episode if we do it. Right. But I would wait for that. Bullet Productions, Project Nexus 2. This is going to sound silly, but are you going to be able to change your skin tone?
I kind of want.
One thing I want to do in the game is allow you to change the plus sign on your face, like the different options, and I want to get that in sooner than later. You would do it at character creation, and then maybe have like a freaking decorator or something. Yeah, maybe you go to the doctor and he lets you he does plastic surgery.
Well, it also if you could make your hands and head like just lighter or darker too.
Yeah.
Let's just say you want to stand out and be like the White Death or the jet black guy.
Yeah. Of course, your smock that you're wearing, that is an outfit, not your skin. You're not actually naked.
In case you're thinking to change that. One shot is the same.
Right, exactly. Everybody's got, like in Skyrim or any Elder Scrolls or whatever, anything by this Bethesda, you've always got the same underwear. Yeah. So that's your underwear,
There's someone out there just killing the market.
Yeah, right, exactly. They've cornered it. They don't even bother competing. It's practically free. They're giving it away. But as far as skin tone, I think it would be more like the plus of your face. But yeah, I mean, whatever tone thing you do to the armor, when we add that, there's absolutely no reason that couldn't also apply to the skin or of the character.
The hands and head.
Yeah, basically. I mean, as much as I want to limit people making your character bright red, if it's fun, why remove
Yeah, I
it?
was gonna say that made me really happy in Saints Row 4. My guy was something of a superhero when he was just like purple and running around.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll follow suit and make your guy super colorful. As far as
I kind of want to add like a bonus, like the same outfit that you wear as a grunt, but just make it another thing that you can wear. Like, I don't know, but with like stuff on it.
I'm with stupid shirt.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I want to add T-shirts to the game with like cloth physics on the sleeves that they're just like flapping.
Or no, like they're like just fucking Bobby pinned up or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like a war veteran. Wait, did that? Will there be debuffs, aka bleed, poison, and other nasty stuff? Technically, dizzying, the little swirl that appears over someone's head is a debuff.
Right, we want more of them, of course.
Yeah.
I want weapons that specifically, like, they do something like less damage. Like stun weapons are going to do that. They'll cause a specific debuff, however, very little damage.
Right, yeah.
Like tased or beanbagged or stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, the framework is there, we just haven't really, because all the weapons, they don't do anything but kill you.
Right. Sean, for the record, it worked for me, but is the hiring guys thing working with the new event system? Because that's what it's using now, is the event system.
Let me see.
When you get a chance, let me know.
He's not on mic anymore, is he?
I don't know. Sean, are you still on microphone? I wonder if
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you are. Okay. Sorry, I had my volume down because we were screwing around earlier.
Oh, Christ, you weren't talking, were you?
Goodness me.
Yeah, sorry. Because everybody but Sean is in this room, so like, if we've been talking over Sean, I can't wait to listen to this podcast and just see how real.
Just us mulling him over at every chance.
Yeah, he works.
And like, he's like asking a funny question, or he's like making a funny comment. We just like talk right over him awkwardly. Yeah, sorry, Sean.
That's a complete mistake.
Okay, cool, but yeah, it does work. Thank you for testing that for me. Okay, debuffs. Carmita wants to know: are there going to be any tactical advantages to using ATP masks? Or high-tech headgear.
There will be in time. I definitely want outfits that bring stats to you, like the spiked knuckles for starts.
Yeah.
That's just on the wish list I have. But as far as like the ATP mask, any bonus?
It would be cool if like any kind of visored thing gives you like a UI update. Like it's not a skill; it's more you can see their health and tack bars and stuff.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
Total Station 13. There.
Yeah, like we've talked about having stuff like that before. We don't want to take away the tack bar that you see over somebody anyway. Like, you need to know how much damage you're doing.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, but being able to see their corpus and the damage you've done, that could be, could be fun.
Or maybe you can see how many ammos they have.
Yeah. Right, yeah, exactly. Just like little tactical things would be kind of cool, even if it's just for flair. And maybe get your screen yellow. Not really, because
that would be wretched.
it's like the Saving Private Ryan blood on camera thing. It's like, who let that camera?
Or there was a game, or Deus Ex. Where It's got the urine filter.
Oh yeah. Let me see.
Games on console.
Mr. Lego King 2001. Is this game going to be on console at all? We don't have any immediate ambitions for that because of like we mentioned, the way controllers work with this game, or don't. If we can get controller setup working, then our goal is to, like, if it plays well, our goal is to get it to play for local PC and Mac and Linux first for multiplayer, and then if that works out, we'll think about consoles down the line. But there's more than just putting it on console. It's kind of like a who you know sort of thing. We're not a big production house, and a small indie game getting on console is kind of difficult to do. Not impossible, but there's extra hoops. So our priority is PC first, or rather any desktop first. Creeply wants to know: are there going to be enemy weapon specific executions? Yeah, we're gonna have some like gun-based executions eventually, and
I definitely want them. Yeah. More importantly, I'm working on getting more weapon-specific combination attacks, like for the fencing and the katana and the chainsaw and stuff like that. Weapon-specific executions are going to be super important. It just feels like such a flair thing at this point, since right now I have to get more golem executions done. But like, as far as like, if you have a weapon, the thing is, like, I don't want it so that like a weapon is pigeonholed into like 2 or 3 executions. Like, the variety that we have right now for every execution kind of does it for me.
One thing I'd like to see is
I'm sorry.
If we did no, you go. I've talked plenty.
Yeah, but you're so damn good at it. But like, it's just like, let's just pretend you have a hammer specific execution, and like suddenly you're locked out of the 25 executions that exist, just to see these 3. So it has to be like a really special weapon, and that's why the first one we'd probably do this with is the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Stuff like where you hoist him up over your head, like just blood all over the place. It'll be great and spectacular but at the same time, it can't take too long because the point of an execution is to make someone die quickly.
I would like to see things like for executions like so right now you've probably noticed in the game we have a separation between unarmed and melee, but melee doesn't have any like distinction between bladed or blunt weapons. So something I'd like to see like eventually. Obviously some executions work for both, and you'll continue to see that. But for some of them where it's clear that you're like stabbing them on the ground, we'll separate that. But like, what if there was things like to really give it some emphasis with a blunt weapon, so it doesn't just look like bam, I hit him and haha, he died.
Mm-hmm.
Like really like crack, and like the neck goes sideways, and they just like fall over like limp.
Total manhunt stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Or like cracking him in the side and bending the character so awkwardly around the chest that he's like on the ground, like,
or
really.
Yeah, like wrapping a hand around the back of his neck and like pushing the blunt weapon through his body like all slow rather than just carving right through.
Right. Or like slug him in the stomach and then just like right on the head. Spoilers. I'm thinking like Walking Dead new season episode 1 style.
Yeah,
with Negan's famous bat, Lucille.
Bat sound.
Yeah.
I keep bringing up Manhunt because I remember that was traumatizing to me when I first played that game. When you like hit someone in the head and you get the bat sound and like their head kind of falls apart. And
yeah.
Whoa, this. I want to do this for a living.
That's right. A career was born that day. So yeah, you get the idea, and you'll be seeing some differentiation, but for the most part,
it would be less like making a weapon-specific animation, and more like groups, like bladed, axe-like blunt weapons.
Yeah.
Excellent question.
I think that we're so far back that the other questions that I had selected are gone.
They're starting.
So we'll do the best we can. When is Ghostmas? This year it was in June.
It was. Oh no.
Yeah, it's different every year. This year it was in June. What is Ghostmas? Ghostmas is about love, dude.
Yeah, come on.
I'll
Google Ghostmas right now.
Yeah, Google Ghostmas. Actually, I coined that term via Blockhead.
Oh.
Yeah, what is Ghostmas? Ghostmas is about love. Ghostmas is actually about revenge.
They're the same.
Has the programming of Battlemen taught? Has the programming been too spooky? Okay, so we're actually not that far back. Co-op or PvP? Okay, cool, so we didn't lose everything. When will bayonets be added? I'm not sure. That is something that's going to come in.
Well, there's going to be like pistol bayonets are going to go in first, because I want it so that you might have seen from like when I was first learning Blender and putting things together, there was a sort of a blade you could stick with a pistol. And the idea was that when you pistol whip, it just does tremendously greater damage. But it's just a matter of getting around to it. It's one of those little tiny features that that are waiting for the big features to get out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Like I always thought that once we have pistol whipping in, we'll just add that as well. But actually, now that ranged weapons have melee stats, we can easily add a bayonet style add-on, and once it's attached to a weapon, then the pistol whip will just be replaced with like a bladed strike, like a stab instead.
Right.
It'd be remarkably easy to add. We've just been trying to get the core stuff finished first before we added the cool flare stuff, which is why you haven't seen Matt's engineer briefcase thing come into play yet. The portable shield is just because that's cool flare. His end is done. I just have to program it in. But that's
a very funny story.
And that'll only take a day to add. But then that's that day instead of doing golems or instead of doing yada yada.
Yeah. It's a giant list of priorities.
Right. So Hazel Capulus says that they regret not getting the alpha release. Is there any way to update what they bought, or do we just have to be patient? So for clarification, we have 3 different tiers of ways of getting involved in pre-ordering. Pre-ordering and participating in the alpha, and the beta, and the pre-release, like early access. So right now, the only way to get access to the game immediately is to get the alpha pre-order. That's Pack B on the website, and we'll give you a link to all that stuff soon. It's on projectnexus2.com, of course, and you'll see the link, big shiny candy link up there. And right now, that's the only way to get access to the game is to get Pack B, which gets you 2 keys. Seems expensive, but you're getting 2 keys. Anybody who's gotten Pack A will be getting access to the beta when we transition, and anybody else who got the basic pre-order will get it a good while before it ever goes to Steam Live. So you'll still be playing before anybody else. If you need to upgrade, you can contact us by email and just let us know. And if it's within the last, I actually don't know what the time frame is. It may be a month, it may be a year. But if you're trying to upgrade, just come and talk to me, and we'll either refund your thing to let you reorder the one you want, Or alternatively, if that doesn't work, we'll do something with like the donation thing and just upgrade your version or something like that. But you have to let me know, because if you just donate, I won't know what that's for. So just contact me, Swain at projectnexus2.com or teammadness@projectnexus2.com, and I'll try to field your requests best I can. All right, scrolling. Doop. Okay, here's one. Malter1. Will you get the option to two-hand a weapon even if your stats allow you to one-hand it because it looks silly sometimes? I was just thinking about that. The reason we don't have that in now is because we want people to look at the gun when you're holding it and say, looks like I can one-hand this weapon, so that means I could go over and pick this one up in my offhand. We're trying to make visual cues appear to show you that what you're holding is currently able to be held one-handed. But I think I'm going to actually change it so that up at the top of the screen, it shows that you require that weapon to be two-handed. So if you're holding a rifle in your main hand, it'll show ghost of that rifle in your offhand as well to kind of indicate that it's locked in. Whereas if you can hold it one-handed, it'll only show it in the one slot. But your character will then still hold it two-handed in the game. Because you're right, I think it looks silly. There was a practical reason for it, but I think I've come up with a solution that lets us free that up. So that is a good question. That is something we're going to be changing. When will Crinkles, Zinga Rofobico wants to know when Crinkles is going to be making a creepy clowns murder room.
Well, the murder room is going in a very neat direction.
Yeah.
I think creepy clowns isn't too far off of a prediction.
Yeah.
Is he swinging around Guts' sword like a friggin'...
Yeah, his character is like max strength or something.
Oh, crap.
He's like Pirate B who's dressed like Sanford.
Of course.
Of course he is. Hulk 0509. Will you guys add more levels in the arena? Yeah,
gosh,
we
yes.
do. Every update we add levels if we can help it.
I keep pushing as many as I can on swing. It's just a matter of getting them in.
Yeah, and Luke DeFower also commented on the rapier being wielded like a broadsword, like swinging it like a whip. That's true, and that's why we have rapier weapon attacks that Matt has made that I just need to add in the game, and that might actually be in for next week.
Yeah, as well as the katana. And the idea behind these is like it's a specific animation set for the weapon designed around its lighter damage. So like the katana, when you get for level 3 melee and you wield the katana with just them, he attacks twice per time. So the 6.5 damage seems reduced at first, but that's because like it's a kind of a specialized weapon. Right?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, you'll be doing 13 per mouse click rather than 8 or 9.
Exactly, right. Instead of slash, and you're actually doing like multiple hits, even though the attacks are slower. Yeah, I like that. I think it's taken a lot of like attention to balancing. We used to animate these things like whatever, if it looks cool, it's good.
Yeah.
But now we're actually calculating the time between when you click and when the swing happens, as well as the cooldown after that, transitioning into the next hit.
Right.
Or if you choose not to continue your combo, what is your entire cooldown before you're allowed to advance into the back into your idle movable state.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys will be helping us test that, and we'll stretch or crunch or
Yeah, we'll be the
modify
first
them.
to tell you that like the balancing in this game is not where it needs to be.
Yeah.
That's because we're just sort of shoveling it onto the pile and then forming a sandcastle.
Yeah.
We just need more dirt.
Let's see. So Gangrene is Cool's asking, will arena mode pit you against more than one faction or threat?
Yes.
Yes, it does. It currently does. Yes.
Wait, which one?
Well, I mean, you fight the Nexus guys in the club. You fight the guys in the apartments. You fight AHW in the outpost. I mean, those are.
Oh, I think he means like at once.
Against more than faction or threat. I mean, in the yes, also in the outpost, you'll be able to fight. We're hoping to maybe have some just basic combat guys, perks or something. A lot, not outpost, outfit. It's not great.
Yeah, I definitely want merch or something running around on that map.
Yeah, but the problem with having guys fight against you and fight against each other is that kind of defeats the purpose of arena for us.
Yeah. This is true.
Yeah. Sean, you taking a break?
Yeah. Well, it crashed on at the same time then.
Okay, that's all right. I know the game actually needs to restart every hour, otherwise the memory leaks kick in.
Yeah.
Okay, how many levels will be in single player? Says Elite Cryptic.
We could just we have the the initial tutorial stage. We have the outskirts that you have to get through. The bands.
Yeah. How many sectors do we have? We have the outskirts.
Industrial sector, north and south.
Yeah, industrial, outskirts, residential.
Yeah, residential.
Military, which won't be that big.
military is actually kind of just a few places.
Mining.
There's a mining sector, and then the central sector.
And then the tower itself, yeah.
Each of these places could have 2 to 5 missions within them.
Yeah, we're leaning towards let's say on average 3 to 4. I mean, which is 2 to 5. It's just like
I was going to say because the outskirts area only has 2.
Yeah, and then the industrial sector has about 3, I think.
In the south, and then the north has 2.
And we'll add all DLC and stuff. We'll update missions like playable stuff that you can just do in these zones.
Not unlike how when 1.5 came out, it was just more games came out.
Yeah.
Because I'm like huge on that, like just more get. What are you doing?
Sean's typing "I suck."
No, you don't, Sean. Sean, don't say.
Oh, is it Walrus saying?
Oh, I get it.
That's cute.
Cyberbullying 101.
That's how you do it, guys. Take notes.
Yeah, Sean's a pro.
Do it only when they're not around to defend themselves.
I'm gonna feed myself some more questions. I'm the best, maybe. That's great. Trash Attractive Trash Man asks, will you be able to play as different characters in story mode like Audit or Jesus? We have ambitions to make Jesus playable at one point.
Yeah, it's not like you'll be able to pick him from a roster and play him from the beginning to
the
end.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not like, okay, mission begin. Who's your character? And then you pick one. Missions will have set characters that you'll be playing as.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll still be able to, like, if it's Sanford and Demos, you can swap between them. Like, freely in the game, you'll be able to swap to them.
Yeah.
But Jesus and like Hank and stuff, they're characters that will come up as the missions go on that will be given to you.
Because like as we've written the story so far, there'll be parts where like, and meanwhile Jesus was doing this. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe Jesus would go kill.
And
spoilers.
Yeah. And Tricky will be absolutely unplayable at least until we have a Harley Quinn, Batman, Arkham City, or Arkham, whatever.
Yeah, he's more
Arkham
of a
Knight
nuisance,
update.
I don't want people to play that.
Yeah. Okay. We'll Kickless 1200. Will you ever fight more than a faction at a time? That's basically answered that question.
Zombies are a faction.
Yeah. Jamie Da Vinci will be able to purchase the soundtrack post-launch. I believe yes. A lot of it is going to be like listenable on SoundCloud, but we're hoping to have some of it like not available. We'll talk to Devin about that, just to kind of like give the soundtrack something special. Lieutenant Sprinkles, will you cancel all ideas to make the real game Hatness Project Cash Grab? We will totally sell out once the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah. What can we say?
Yeah.
We're human just like y'all.
Commander Jimmy, a different dimension. I guess we got that one already. How much will the game cost on release? Asks Redman. It's anywhere from like, it's my favorite Madness. Is that one of your like new memes?
No, it's them in the fucking Discord being silly.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think it's going to be $10. I think it's going to be like 12 to 15. I don't want to make it like, I don't want to be like, oh, well, why did I buy it for 15 at pre-order if I could have like waited and got it for cheaper?
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, so I think minimum 15 and maybe more depending on how much content's in the real thing.
Yeah.
But of course, obviously, if you've pre-ordered, you don't have to pay more if we increase the price on Steam.
You're in.
Yeah.
So it's just like, we look at other games that have the audacity to sell for $15,
right.
And I think 15 is pretty fair.
I think so too. King of One Gaming, how did you two meet up? I know that one made the animation series, but who contacted who to making it the first game? That's a good question. I know it's kind of Nexus 2 related. I know that Matt and I go back to obviously Newgrounds.
We met first at that
2007. In San Diego at Comic-Con. Yeah, with a big Newgrounds like lunch or dinner rather, because I showed up that night.
Drinking contest.
Yeah, basically. It always turns into one. I remember Matt and I sat next to each other at dinner and we just started talking about like games. He'd never heard of Blockhead, but to be fair, like I'd only been doing it for like a year.
Yeah, I felt awful about that. Like after I'd left and like you'd said that, and I was like, yeah, I was a real.
That's okay. I knew it's hard to avoid madness, but I didn't really know a lot about everybody's stuff on. I felt bad meeting Brad Bourne, the Fancy Pants Adventures guy.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Nero CF, I think is his username.
That's
there.
Him, yeah.
I'd played the game before, but I couldn't remember it because there were a lot of stick figure based things all across Newgrounds, so I was getting my facts confused. So I felt bad because I really liked his stuff, but I just couldn't figure out which was which.
But who contacted who for the arranging of the first game? That was more like just me not constantly, but I had always been kind of looking for to make other games. like Max from Madness Interactive. I remember as early as like 2009 or something. I was reaching out and saying like, hey, you want to make a game?
Is that Flecko Gold?
Yeah, Flecko.
Yeah.
And then he was like, no, I'm too busy making money with a real person job. So
Yeah.
But then some of you might remember from like I think it was 2010. This guy got in touch with me who said he wanted to work on a game on the 360, and then like that just fell out completely. So I kind of just went back to animating, and then after a while I was like, wait a minute, Swain programs. And at the time I was with Laura, and she just suggested it, like, hey, what about Swain? And I was like, shit, okay.
Well, because you'd contact me like from time to time and like say, hey, so how's that Madness Xbox game you were talking about coming along? You're like, I don't know, I'm just waiting for like a programmer to get back to me. Like,
yeah,
I think he's just taken off. I haven't heard from him in like forever. Todd still finishing up. Was doing something before we started on this one. I know I just finished that stupid fishing game, but I was messing around. I think I was playing. You know what I was doing? I was messing around with Vampirate.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's a game that never got done, but I was messing around with that, and I ended up giving up on it because it was never a game that I'd like released or announced I was going to do. I stand by. I finish what I start, but that was always like a tech demo. I was trying to learn how to program new methods of coding with that, and I ended up not liking the direction I was taking the game, so I just kind of transitioned into Nexus 1. We talked about it and just started coming up with this idea for a game. And it only took us a couple months to make, but it was in Flash with assets you already had and stuff like that.
Right, and all I had to do was like animate on top of it.
Yeah.
And far and away, Swain's like easily someone who like gets Madness. I'm
a fan of the series, so it's
so like whenever we're talking about shit, it's always like yes and back and forth.
Yeah.
So like when we're writing up the story, we're never really arguing so much as just making more and more ideas.
Right. Unreal Axe was asking. I gave my friend a copy. We both use the same Wi-Fi. Does that mean I can play with him? The game is not multiplayer right now, but we mentioned earlier, just to kind of like reiterate, we're going to try to make this game local multiplayer. So at least on the same LAN, or in your case, Wi-Fi, same thing. You'll be able to, eventually be able to, like, maybe, we're going to really try unless there's some weird reason we wouldn't be able to. But Unity fully supports it, and I'm ambitious enough to try. And I really think it would give something to the game to be able to play multiplayer. Like, I'm going to try as hard as I can to make that a thing. For right now, we have to get the single-player experience done before we can do that. Think of it as like Grand Theft Auto, you know? GTA 5 came out, and I guess multiplayer wasn't available right away.
Like a year, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But eventually it was, and it was worth it. Commander Jimmy, why can't we be a full-size mag if Torture could traverse a base not made for him in an incident?
He was destroying that base as he traversed it.
Right, yeah, because he broke the base in the way that we'd have to break the game to make that happen. Let me see. Kingo One Gaming. Did he have a question? No, it was Inigo Paquito Aligora asked, will we ever face enemies, bosses with improbability drives integrated into them, a la Tricky?
Oh, Tricky.
I mean, Tricky will be in the game as a sort of like, we've mentioned before, the best comparison is if you remember the witch from Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, think of Tricky as that. Kill him or go for him at your absolute utmost risk. And safety, but otherwise don't bother him.
Yeah.
Let him sleep. Let him be crazy on his own. Battleman Todd, and as we get closer to like 3:30, I guess we'll start to wrap it up. I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it looks like Sean can only fill this page with so many drawings. So
yeah.
3:30, we'll start putting that.
Right. How are you feeling, Sean? Are you sick?
No, I'm good.
I have a cold. I hope you don't get sick from me.
Oh,
Across the pond, mate. Was
Sure.
that good? Did that sound right?
It's a little bit racist, but let's continue.
you know how we feel about you, Brits.
He's Sean's our American Uncle Tom, though. He's great.
Yeah.
Let me see. Battleman Todd, will we be able to revive knocked out teammates? Maybe not in arena mode, but in story mode, main characters.
They absolutely have to be revivable.
Yeah. We'll have like a Left 4 Dead-ish, like Castle Crashers, or like Scott Pilgrim-esque, revive them in some
I
way.
think it was Madness 5.5 where we saw Sanford use the adrenaline and get all shaky.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, it's story mode. You got to keep things moving forward. I don't like the idea of like stopping and saying like, oh well, you screwed up so much, we have to go back now.
Right. Yeah. I want to think of that as being the lives that you have in a stage. If you're Hank and you die, we'll probably make you at least restart the floor of the stage you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Not the whole stage, but
or
maybe
you have to screw up spectacularly in order to have to restart.
Yeah. And that's how reviving might work. Justin Bob, My game is pretty broken. Anytime I start it up, the audio is distorted and the buttons don't show up, meaning I can't play the game. Might be something wrong with my computer. I don't know. I highly recommend updating your video card if that's what's happening. That won't fix the audio, but I don't know. I haven't seen this issue. It might have something to do with your either your if you have Realtek sound, you may have to make sure you're set to like 5.1 audio, like we were talking about this with Civilization.
Some weird things happened there.
Yeah.
Justin Bob, definitely, like, if you're in the Discord chat, take as many screenshots as you can and share with them on the blog list. Because we'd be curious to know about this.
Yeah, and also, let us know when you do that. Let us know what your video card is you're using, if you can give us that information.
Yeah, like just your regular specky systems.
And it's entirely possible maybe somebody in the Discord could even help you fix it if it's a local problem.
Right. Because I have a feeling, like,
as Uncle Funkle obviously is offering to help if possible. Right. But yeah, try to get through to us if you can, and we'll see what we can do.
Unreal Axe.
Yeah. Oh, he asked the same question. Yeah.
We answered that.
It was. I think it was like it got cut off or something. So
I thought he was getting testy with us. Like, now. I'm like, I get it.
Okay. Or did he ask like 3 times? Well, I'm not going to answer 3 times.
No, once.
Huntery Avatar 2. Will you change how Melee works since there have been some problems? The vague answer that you will get for the vague question is yes and no. Just kidding. He clarifies right below. Make it more like the very first previews where it was more mobile. Actually, I don't know what that means.
No, it means that when you swing a weapon, you're stuck. You can't like walk and swing.
No, we can't really do that. In the original version of the game for the Kickstarter, I guess tech demo, we had it so you could walk and swing, and it just looked really dumb. Like you look like you're just walking around with your little legs kicking, and your hand is just like, it looked dumb. To make it look good, we have to have full control over the animation of the character, and you kind of have to stick in place when you're attacking.
It's a commitment to do that extra damage.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to look at ways of making it so you like when you say very first previews, I'm assuming that's what you mean, was the original Kickstarter tech demo.
Around, swinging all over.
Yeah, the problem with that is that you're stuck looking like a dumb, stupid idiot, especially when you're standing still attacking. It just looks really ridiculous. So we're going to opt towards continuing to use animations, which pretty much every game does anyway. Some games don't, but I think that they look less good than the ones that choose to do full body animation.
Right.
All right, so as we're getting towards the end here, was that it? I think that was...
we done?
Is that all of our questions?
That's some really weird question, guys. Go right ahead.
And Justin Bob says it was just corrupted save data.
Oh,
awesome.
Dear. Okay, no, that's good. Well, good that you...
Well, so we have some questions here, but Sean, how you feeling, buddy?
Yeah,
I'm good. I just,
good? Sweet.
Not a lot of these questions I can really answer, so it's just a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of new stuff to show in the game other than the new weapons, which you've done, and the new stages, which you've done.
I'm just going to answer this one that he says, why no revive in the arena? Like, there could be a 50-50 chance for a teammate to get knocked out rather than dying. Honestly, I think it's because I'd rather it be something of a death march, trying to survive as long as you can while things are being stripped away from you.
Right.
Your ammunition, your health, your friends.
Yeah, it's dodgeball. I mean, and granted, that's a bad example because they can come back in dodgeball. It's paintball. You're out. You got tagged. You're out. You're not in this round anymore. That's all it is.
The idea is to avoid resource loss and don't really manage resource gain.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Since you're talking about Newgrounds, can you get a Mastermind minion helmet to wear? Yes, I would love that.
Why don't we? Yeah.
Someone has to model it, and also we haven't talked about it. I am going to make a blockhead character before that happens, including the little tapered arms connecting to the like shirt block thing.
A giant like paper mache, like one of those carnival like masks of the Mastermind himself would be great.
Yeah, I'd love that. We do need to have a Mastermind stage at one point. It would just be like, it's an arena stage in front of a desk, and if you're just like battling for his amusement or something.
Right. Just see like his hands on.
Oh, and Shark Tanks, of course, drop, and it's just another burner room. At Project Nexus, will you bring the sheriff back? Yes, he's absolutely already in the game. I mean, you won't see him, but all of his equipment is there. But yeah, sheriff is alive and well. Well, he's alive anyway.
Yeah, he's
the fucking dog.
Yeah,
keep doing that.
He's taking me because during my podcast, like if I had to go up and get water, I put on an animated GIF of a dog or something.
Yeah. Stop trying to push your Brexit agenda on us, Sean.
Blah blah T, blah Big Ben, the Queen.
The Queen, long God save the Queen.
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
Will there be alternate gangrene is cool? Will there be alternate mags that aren't focused on being bullet sponges, instead focused on maneuverability or something else entirely?
The Bandit Brute is something of a beginning of that. He moves faster. He isn't quite as tough as a golem, and he's more apt to be agile.
Yeah.
I mean, he's no ninja, but and then like we're gonna get into what's his name, Google, who's climbing all over the walls and stuff.
Yeah, and I know we talked about like potentially having Gestalt in the game again. We're not sure how and if that's going to happen, but if we did, I'd like to play with the idea of him being invincible, but you have to use the environment to
To
smoke
and not
him.
only is he invincible, he's also like obscenely agile, being a abomination or something.
Sean, your creaking chair lined up perfectly on our screen with you resizing the SpongeBob GIF, and it was just the most painful resizing I've ever seen and heard. Just so now you know. Yeah. I guess alternate mags. Yeah, I like the idea of bandit brutes are basically like they're the bandits version of a golem. They're not actually golems. They have a different like backstory to them, but they serve the same purpose as being big guys. They're not really bullet sponges, and I guess technically golems aren't either because they're invincible until you get that helmet off.
Yeah, the Mark IIs are invincible. The Mark I's aren't.
Yeah.
And you meet the Mark IIs first.
And I mean, you'll fight golems that don't have their armor on, and they'll go down. But
The idea of like a golem is like he takes a few extra bullets. He's really fast on the battlefield. It's essentially like being a toddler and fighting an adult.
Captain Twitch, will you fight Hank? He's a protagonist in this, so unless we have like a Jesus Hank fight or something like that, like in the game, and you have to play as like Jesus or something, maybe. But otherwise, I love that Pirate McGee face. We'll give you that meme face if you want, Sean.
I gave you the Lenny face. Why can't I give you that?
Project. Have you thought about another side? This is Hazel Capulus. Have you ever thought about another side of Zed Survival where you play as a Zed trying to build up your horde, or is that way too much work? I mean,
that's not really a direction.
Yeah, that's not really Zed Survival, but I could see like an interactive challenge map where it's like you're a Zed, convert as many to Zeds as like you have to get to like 20 Zeds.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, exactly, like an Infectinator thing, and your Zeds can die. Oh, that would be cool. It's just a bunch of grunts and you like pick one. You don't play it, you pick one. Well, you have to play it.
Well, there's still a game there, but
yeah, you play. We'll call it like Patient Zero mode or something.
Yeah.
And so you're like, it's just a room full of grunts. It's like arena mode, but it's just grunts trying to avoid you. And then eventually soldiers will come in and try to like kill the zombies, like a timer till they come in. You and your zombies have to convert as many civilians as you can. That could be cool. That'll be in the way back burner, but I like the idea.
Yeah, usually you see the grunt eat an infected hot dog or a fat hot dog.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's how it starts.
The starter, right? You start off by having a hot dog and you eat it, and you're like, ah, and you turn into a zombie. The real Broken Shadow Kirby Mark Zero wants to know if we will still get that sandbox mode. Yes, we will. We were waiting on the event system to basically be done, and now it is, so we can start building it.
I essentially just want to take like training room 1, that giant empty room, and being able to just stand in there and spawn whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Essentially, what made this interactive so damn fun.
Right. So Hazel Capulus wants to know, and this is a good question, that will we have any kind of editor or in-game level/mission designer, or would that tie into the mod workshop support you mentioned? Both, but in the sense that to make stages, we're probably going to require you to get Unity. We could make it so you can design stages, like using a very simplified system like we'll have in the AAHW mode eventually. But that's not really a level designer. That's just a base designer with fixed ways of doing things that we're going to set up for you. But like having a level designer, that's basically using Unity with our assets, and people will be able to do that, create asset bundles, and we'll have a way of loading them from the and I think that'd be great to be able to just punch in like load somebody's asset bundle, and you like see your mod list, and you're like, cool, include that, and then maybe that appears in arena mode as an arena mission. Or something, or it just loads it up and you play it, and it's just a one-off type thing.
You can always watch Madness cartoons. Sean, you don't need to do this.
Oh yeah, Sean, why don't you play your? Can you play your? That's a picture of my messed up dog. Sean, can you? There's Devin. Is it just gonna be all of us?
I don't have them all.
I think Devin's picture looks better than any of ours.
Yeah, that one's excellent.
Yeah, mine is great. It's my profile picture, but actually, yeah, Sean, do you have any of the Madness cartoons you've been working on that changed the like Hank to John Cena and whatever?
Oh yeah.
I could play the little intro bit, maybe.
Because I don't know if you can play a YouTube video within a YouTube video. Battleman Tot asked about grenades, Molotovs, even a rocket launcher. Yeah, the grenades and Molotovs we have plans for.
Yeah, we have grenade launchers.
Yeah, we have a grenade launcher. Rocket launcher
two of them.
be the same thing. Actually, that's true.
We have 2 grenade launchers.
We now
one
have 2.
A single shot and a 6 shot. But rocket launchers, like an RPG-7 or something,
Yeah.
I'm more apt to put in like a bazooka because I like the coupe of it.
Yeah.
It just looks cooler. And I mean,
Sorry,
Call of
that's
Duty RPG-7, so
Oh, did it just? Oh, is it about to play?
It
Like,
auto
really loud?
played and it just went straight into the music.
So we're about to hear it on ours. Zach Ford wants to know what Cheshire is doing. He's been basically, he had computer troubles. He's got his computer going now,
Yep.
and he's actually been sending us demos of songs he's working on. So that'll
Right,
start to
right,
appear in the game.
just to get into it, yeah, he's been just getting back into the music thing. He's kind of been just doing his own thing, so
Yeah.
he's getting his head about him, and I'm liking it. Cheshire is not dead.
It's a lie. And well,
Just looking at Amethy's nonsense.
Let's see. Trash Attractive Trashman asks, we'll be able to get superpowers like reviving people as zombies, lifting up weapons in the air and shooting them. There will be what we're calling legendary tiers that you'll be able to play, and it'll be like a one thing that you're able to add to your character as a sort of proficiency.
Yeah, like by the time you've completely maxed out
Yeah.
all of your melee, unarmed, all that. Once that's all maxed out or maxed out enough, then you're going to be going apotheosis or legendary or whatever the hell we call
Yeah.
it. And that's when you'll be able to do. I don't know about like reviving zombies, but you'll definitely be able to like yank them out of the ground.
Yeah, because we've mentioned once upon a time, or maybe even every podcast, who knows, that because there's a fixed number of like you can adjust the slider in your game to decide how many bodies appear on the floor before they start to disappear, which basically means if you set it to like 5 or something, that means there's only 5 bodies on the ground. Even if we set a minimum,
which
you know?
acts as a severe detriment to your ability to revive zombies. So
Right.
I'm more just yank them out of the ground.
Yeah, it'll be
Spawn
instead,
new ones.
right, it would be cool, but there's a very technical limitation to that. So instead, yeah, summoning zombies would be like, yeah, they appear in the room like under the ground or something, and they just kind of pop in. Stuff like that. I
But,
prefer
like,
seeing.
something I'd rather not do is have like other things do the same thing but under a different guise. So like there's only going to be one class that like causes enemies to come into the map, and that's like your necromancer
Yeah.
Jesus. And then like you'll have your Hank who's like combat abilities are such that Zoldats are completely paper thin, you know.
Yeah. Commander Jimmy's asking about the weapon summoning for the Jesus tree. The way I see it is the weapons that you start with, you can throw them or do whatever you want with them, and I will probably have like a fixed magic power thing. Happy birthday.
Yeah, that's me after my 6-week cut. I look pretty good.
Nice, yeah. Going back on mass training. Because that's obviously a real picture.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. It's real.
I sleep in a birthday cake.
But yeah, I'm thinking that the weapons you start the map with will you'll be able to press like your magic button, whatever that is, and it'll summon it back to you wherever it happens to be in the stage.
Yeah. So like, no, you throw it off the map, don't matter. And every time you summon it, gets new ammo.
Yeah, so it'll like despawn where it is and come back to you, so it won't happen instantly. 100 out of 100, to be honest, fam.
Famalama ding. I love memes.
Yeah. Malta, will you get the option to two-handed weapon if your
that's
state allows?
just
Yeah,
so
cool.
cool.
So I think we're all caught up at the end there.
He did it, absolute madman.
Yeah.
So
I think we're all up to date now, huh?
okay, cool.
Cool.
Can a character be present in arena mode at all? Probably not, but maybe as like part of a storied arena mission. This was a Shadina Shaddy was asking. Will canon characters be presented in arena mode?
Maybe like, hey, this one guy named Stanford, whatever,
Yeah.
needs our help for this.
Yeah, some guy. I think his name is Stanford.
Yeah.
Maybe they might appear, but not as a character that works for you, and not as a bad guy, not as somebody you have to fight.
Yeah. I'm not. I haven't really thought about it. This is so far removed from what they're up to.
Yeah. So let me see. I guess we're going to take our last question now. Cool Kid wants to know. Oh, here, let's see everything we see on the screen here. But no more questions. We're all wrapped up here. Hazel Capulus, will there be a Shameless Crinkles fan service hidden in the game? The entire game is a Shameless Crinkles fan service.
Yeah, this is just ego nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have like a Newgrounds stage where you can kill a bunch of Newgrounds people.
Yeah.
A la that Madness Day thing that the Taco Man guy did, which is my favorite. I still love how he treats the blockhead character. He's like, oh god, not you. He's mad about everybody, but him, he's just disappointed. That's my favorite. It's like, oh great, now we have to finish the whatever series. Like, no, you don't. And start shooting everybody. Do you think you will ever add like a console in the arena base where you can play like Madness Interactive or Project Nexus 1? I don't think you can play Flash games from Unity, and it would be cool if you could.
I was gonna say like a Maniac Mansion. That was
Yeah,
great.
or I saw like in what was it, Homeland or Homefront or whatever that game was we were looking at.
Oh yeah.
Miniature Nerd played it. Where you can go in and play basically Time Splitters 2 in the game
Oh shit.
somehow. I didn't know they had anything to do with it, but you could. It would be cool if we could do that, but I don't know if that's going to be possible.
Yeah.
Maybe you can play the original build, like you go in the game and you play the really crappy Kickstarter build of this game. That could be funny.
Oh god, no, that'd be great. With a director commentary of like us lying 2 years ago.
Yeah, just on loop. And I think what kind of grenades can we expect? I think just traditional concussive frag grenades or something.
I know I want different ammo types, but that's like again more flavoring after we get the cake done.
Yeah. I mean, it would be great to have like other, just styles of grenade just to have it, but
Incendiary.
yeah, you'll see stuff like that, like proper and just like we'll have ammo types like incendiary and like dum dums, like hollow points for good against non-armored but bad, like really shit piercing.
Right.
What would we say, negative piercing?
Essentially.
So
yeah.
basically, if you have armor, it adds that adds
The
more armor to it.
percentage,
Yeah. And chain blowing up explosives. Yeah, maybe.
Well, no, they explode on impact. You won't have three. You won't be able to shoot fast enough to have three on
the grenades. I mean, when you throw physical grenades, I could see them going ding ding ding.
Oh yeah. But he's talking about like the M32. And I'm like, no, they hit the ground and explode. You can't.
Yeah, the M32 are they ignite on concussion. So on impact they explode, but actual grenades, probably not. I mean, we could make a pile of grenades explodable, but then you wouldn't have it to pick up if you needed to. I don't know. It is a good question.
Something that worked better in Hitman when you could like plan things. This is more of a shoot as many people as you can until they're dead. Trick or treat.
I like the trick or treat guys over the guys themselves.
Just start putting art on top of art.
Double the losers, double your pleasure.
These dorks.
So anyway, guys, I guess to close up, I guess we can say that we're aiming for an update to the Steam come this next week. That's what we're hoping for, and you'll be able to we're hoping that you guys will manage to help us test out the event system. You'll help us to test out some of the hopefully the new Madness. Why am I saying Madness? The Murder Room stage.
Right.
The new weapons, of course, and hopefully we'll have the turrety gun spinning in. So that heavy
LMGs
weapons.
Aren't OP.
Yeah, right. The LMGs are not MLGs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
MLG is.
The MLG AF. Yeah. We don't want that. We want it to be a little bit more balanced.
Right.
You'll see some stuff like that. Hopefully, we'll have the golems in the facility stage with. We're going to shrink the facility stage for testing right now, where you can only access half of it.
Yeah, I got a little ambitious.
And a worst case scenario, we'll just use it for a story mode mission because it's awesome. But we'll, and I think we should anyway, even if we do use it for arena. But we'll probably break up the facility into multiple different stages, so you access different parts of it based on as you progress through the quote unquote story of arena mode. Is that Obama? Who is that?
John Cena.
Oh, Cena. Okay, I had to kind of look in there. It's just that the face is so dark.
Right.
I'm like, is that Obama? Yeah, why not?
He's got the same kind of upturned eyebrows and
Yeah.
bald.
Yeah, there we go.
More John Cena. That's cool.
You're cool, Sean.
You're talking about. I don't see anything, guys.
It just looks like it looks like Madness, guys. He's Sean Cena, yeah.
Sean Cena.
Well, anyway.
And his name is Meme.
And his name is Meme.
Thanks for the laugh, guys.
So there we go. Before this degenerates into too much just absolute insanity, I guess we'll call it a podcast here. We'll try to do one by the time we do. We'll update this next week if possible, unless anything goes truly wrong. We'll update and then we'll try to aim for another podcast within maybe 3 weeks or something, because I want to get back to doing these updates mostly every 2 or 3 weeks, not every month and a half, which has been unfortunate, but the consequence of FMOD failing us.
Yeah, we apologize for having not so much of a tangible update this time.
Yeah,
I assure you, there's a lot of things that I can just we're going to be throwing out here very soon.
Yeah, it's mostly been bugs and stuff. It's not like Matt has been dragging his feet, so I have a lot of content from him to start integrating into the game. So you'll actually see a lot of stuff once I can get that stuff in. So anyway, guys, I think that's a wrap for today.
That's a wrap. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us, and thanks for the questions. I guess we didn't need Walrus after all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get to fire someone new today.
Yeah. Sean has got a bullet shield in front of him for that. So, yeah, it'll be fun to actually show off some golems. I can't wait for you guys to see them.
Yeah,
that was one of the,
these guys. I don't know how
Yeah.
involved my Twitter, but animating has been fun.
Yeah, they have their own executions. They're awesome. They're so cool, and it's fun seeing them do it in game. Especially the one where they slam you on the ground and just like rake you across the asphalt with their foot.
Yeah, they
Like
just-
like an afterthought, like a cat covering up its freaking litter box.
right.
Yeah.
Just get behind me, you shit.
Because that's all you are to them. So there we go, guys.
Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.
But just end it.
Otherwise, just stand around talking some more.
Yeah. John, are we off?